Pavement, Taylor Burks,
Present.
Waterman,
Here.
Williams,
Present.
Woodward. Mr. President, you have a quorum.
Okay. All right. I need an authorization to excuse Councilwoman Pedala and Councilman Woodward.
Move. Support.
All right. It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Miller,
Yes.
Taylor Burks,
Yes.
Waterman,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carter.
Yeah, present.
No.
I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah. So is that a yes?
Yes or yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Members excused. Now we need any amendments to the agenda. The clerk has added one item, which is a memorandum from Miller. Okay, to add the Provisioning Center Community Benefits Agreement Ordinance first reading as 5B.
Why? Need a support.
Is there support?
Okay.
Council President, if I may be acknowledged when you have a moment.
Yeah, no problem.
Support.
All right, it's been moved by Councilwoman Doris Taylor Burke, supported by Councilwoman Gloria Miller. Any city council discussion?
Yes, Mr. President.
Yes.
Is this an addendum to the 5? Mr. Clerk?
Yes, this ordinance allows for the Provisioning Center Community Benefits to assist with the scoring of the applications, whereas the current Community Benefits Ordinance does not.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Any city council discussion?
Mr. President.
Yeah, go ahead.
What is it worth? The community benefit, how many points is it worth?
Community Benefits is worth 10 points, the application. Yeah.
Okay, any other city council discussion? Okay,
I have discussion.
no city council discussion, Madam Mayor.
I ask
So-
to be recognized.
No, Madam Mayor, you're not part of the body. We're just trying to approve the amendments. I will recognize you, if 5B does get added, I will recognize you when we're discussing the actual merits of the agenda. But right now, we're just trying to add this provision to the agenda.
Okay.
Roll call?
Taylor Burks,
Yes.
Waterman,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Okay. Attorney Chubb asked to be recognized.
Council President, I would just ask that we move agenda item 2 and put it after agenda item 3 or reverse the order of them. The reason being is that one of the reasons for the closed session is to provide information to the council with which they will base their determination on the voting for that resolution. And so it makes sense that the resolution be considered subsequent to the closed session.
Okay. Is there a motion to amend the agenda to put item number 3 above item number 2?
Move.
Support.
All right, it's been moved by Councilwoman Waterman, supported by Councilwoman Doris Taylor Burks. Any city council discussion? Seeing none, roll call?
Taylor Burks,
Yes.
Waterman,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Pedala. Oh, sorry, don't be like that.
Okay, now I need a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Move.
Support.
All right, it's been moved and supported. Any city council discussion? Seeing none, roll call?
Waterman,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Taylor Burks.
Yes.
All right, agenda has been approved as amended. Then I need approval of minutes from August 6, 2019.
Move.
Support.
All right, it's been moved and supported. Any city council discussion? Seeing none, roll call?
Williams,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Taylor Burks,
Yes.
Waterman.
Yes.
All right. Minutes approved, which brings us to item number 3. I would ask the clerk to read the resolution to go into closed session.
Okay. Whereas Michigan Open Meetings Act, Section 8H, MCL 15.268H allows a public body to go into closed session to consider material exempt from discussion or disclosure by state or federal statute. And whereas Michigan Freedom of Information Act, Section 13G exempts from disclosure records subject to attorney-client privilege. Now therefore it be it resolved by the Pontiac City Council that it recess into closed session to discuss an attorney-client privilege memorandum regarding the following items. 1, to consider the purchase of real property located at 235 Wesson Street. 2, to discuss the memorandum regarding Phoenix Center settlement, information exempt from disclosure by statute, specifically an attorney-client privilege memorandum exempt from disclosure pursuant to MCL 15.243, subsection 1, subsection G.
Okay. Is there a move? Okay. It's been moved and supported. Now, we don't have to
You have to,
vote.
Yeah,
Go
you
into
have to
closed
vote.
session.
Go into
Okay.
closed session.
Roll call.
Carter,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Taylor Burks,
Yes.
Waterman,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes. Okay. Closed session started at 6:10.
Yeah, it's 2:35. Hey, yeah, hey, Joe. Gotta get an address.
Decided recently Hey, did you get your house? Did she take care of your house, please?
Oh, God is taking care of it. Taking care of it.
So it's already done?
Very blessed with the job and everything.
Okay, so you got it already done? You have it already done?
There was a
I went looking for employment today and I found it.
There's employment signs all over the city, all over.
This is out in Bloomfield. I went into this restaurant today, I filled out my application. And they said, we're gonna hire you next week.
That's kind of antique way of doing it, because, let's see, since 2004, they haven't been taking applications. For the city of Pontiac? No, for anywhere. Everywhere you gotta go online.
You know, I'm sitting here waiting.
Fifth Avenue.
Oh, okay, I know what that is.
It just blows my mind.
What is the sign?
The city.
Okay, yeah, I say, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, look, we're gonna hire you next week.
How come they couldn't just hire you today then? How come they couldn't just
No,
hire
that
you?
was for my interview and everything.
You want to interview?
Yeah, I did my application, have an interview right then and there. That's how God works.
Yeah, well, a lot of people do it against the interview. But I just wonder why they, so they say, we're gonna hire you next week, why they did this? Because you'd already made the decision to hire me, you can't do it today. And let me work the weekend. Oh, I know. Hey, Blair. So when you work from days or afternoon?
They're gonna
They're
charge
gonna
you
tell you, they're gonna tell you later. No, I don't.
they're gonna tell you.
Oh, okay. Nice to meet you as well.
Jim is brother and his son.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, I'm a God-fearing Christian. I can't.
Okay. You
know, Mayor Waterman gave you your props a couple of weeks ago.
I can't believe that.
Yeah.
I can't believe that. Yeah. What day was that? I'm gonna go look it up.
No, right after you had got done speaking, and then you had left out.
About what?
I don't know what it was. She agreed with you.
I can't believe she agreed with you. I can't believe that. I'm gonna have to look at that. I'm gonna have to have somebody else.
Sure, she called your name out. She said, I agree with her.
What I was talking about. Look, you. I hate the bike lane, so can't be me and her agreeing about the dash bike. I hate that bike lane. I was driving down the road today, I was like, for all these years, we've been able to figure out how to get on our bike and ride up Perry Street on the sidewalk. But now we gotta have a bike lane. Get that, bikes and cars don't belong together. Got a couple 18 wheelers, they still gonna die.
Yeah, Miss Billy's place.
All day long.
So anyway,
I thought all day long.
you paid that loan a year later. And we had this great time. I made all these loans.
And Miss Billy's wife.
Somebody offered
Right.
it.
Right.
Said, okay. I can't just offer.
Let's mark this on the calendar, keep, we're not gonna see that.
You're telling me I could pay.
Wait till I piss her off. My next agenda item. But I can't get in the tap, after 5 minutes, what, next week I want to sign up early.
What do you think about
Ride over here on Monday. Or Friday, I will come on Friday.
for 3 different numbers?
Compliments.
Well, I'm not gonna get her now. I'm not gonna get her now. Just because she did it, I'm not doing the same thing.
70 cents.
I'm not doing the same thing. We from two different worlds.
So I gave her
She's trying to get on your good side.
So the lien is still. on the
Pass the
property.
thing so I can get
Still
my
in yours house.
insurance
We
paid
were
for.
working for 9 months.
That might get toward that way. Toward that way.
That's why I was here. I was here because they finally
Fill this auditorium
for
up.
9 months. We
Oh,
afford to do it.
So remember, once we came,
We're now on. So I'm sick. Just fun by the racks and Wilson.
It's the most successful. Yeah, biggest, least recidivist rate. Won't call by shell. Oh, were you? Still church out.
So it would affect it. You see, actually, we put some drums in the back of the river.
Never good enough. It cost me yeah, they're both in the shop. Uber moms.
10 different 300 applications a day. How do the 500,000 change in that area?
They know that within 6 months, 2 years, has to do that 500. But it's less than 100% chance. But it all goes on as they get.
She could have said no.
Valid, that's the goals.
Legitimate position. But she didn't say no.
Yeah, but slabs, and that causes fluid to build with an abnormal road. And then when the fluid builds up like that, is blood pressure. Sure. And just relax. Now he's got.
Every time I get here,
She didn't say no. She didn't say no. We just. Twins is the next year on the reverter.
One breath.
Are you gonna complain if they mention number one? So you want the citizens of Pontiac to go early, go off?
Oh, I got you.
It seemed to me.
Sometimes like someone asks us like cut out. Just he said, hey, man, I just want to secure and I will talk about stuff out. You got me for like whatever. Yeah, I will give her a call. She would talk about like I don't know. Keep it down. Sit down. And then please, I'm kind of wanting our reporters. That was like I was hurt. I was referring to myself because I get per hour. She probably. She was the Congress do you mind typing a copy of that? And then I see also here oh, 2 years long.
We smoking cigarettes, drinking whiskey, people, did enough meat on it to keep their money for a month. So, on the other hand, I've got friends that are they still grow spinach and they kill rabbits. Yeah. It doesn't seem right.
I was here. Yeah, like I said, contact her, call me or yeah, I would talk to her. They're just, she'll be happy that she's making, let me just say this, that she's making money because people are ordering, courts ordering, maybe the defendant attorneys are ordering. So she was happy. I didn't hear something. Yeah, no problem. Good luck. Yeah, that's all right.
Big eyes and do you. everybody has to be the same. We have the same, we have the same rights and opportunities. So he said, what do you think shingles think? I said, I don't know. He said, you know how strong shingles think. Yeah, that's great. So we walked down there, and shingles there training. Shingles, what do you think shingles? Very quiet. Wise ass. We talked to him. Sure, what's up? I said, I want to ask you a question. I said, there's an easement, perpetual easement. That's how knock down a $75 million parking structure. Knock it down because
That's fine. I'm here.
Amir and I sat there, Blake was over there. Amir, yeah. You know what I like to do? I like to do. I've spent I've been here since 1980. I'm not there's all kinds of I'm talking about And today at 11 million, what happens is they own those worthless islands, North Carolina, South Carolina. They create air conditioning, so they then use tax laws and all that to steal the land. The number one area for taking away houses from black people in the United States is Southeastern Michigan. The past 12 months, 5 years, this is it. Detroit, Oakland County. All of them.
Well, back then we only had 2 years of education. You get a degree. Back then, you get nursing for 2 years. By the early 1970s, you have a master's. No, that was social. That's right. Social. And that was master's.
They understand. Don't you think that kids Pontiac?
You said what? Okay, so how are you related and how's that person your cousin?
Because her daughter is a child by my cousin. My grandmother's first. His name is Friar. You go on to the story too. Got a baby by him. Raised that. In the 50s.
I mean, like, you were married to him and had a child?
9.1.
Oh,
She was young.
well, they didn't have birth control for black women. They didn't have birth control for black women.
Maybe they thought about getting married.
No, they didn't have birth control. Okay.
Precluded from terminating.
You looked up.
Two signatures didn't say
That's what you got.
don't terminate it because they're engaged in.
And I have brothers and sisters, and I asked my dad, like, you got so many kids, what they say? He was married to them.
Table.
Man, he's not a good answer. That was the answer.
And then the guy that says, out of the maybe neither one of them they say they should This is in the package last week, and it's in this one also. So purchasing. And you're talking about the resolution. So this is what this is all about. I started in the last year. There's another resolution. This one says.
I have a little book they got here, sign in. You know what book they got to sign in at? Channel 4 did
It's on the tax records. They moved up here.
Yeah.
He came in and got rid of the Collins, he got rid of the Howard there, he got rid of Jones,
They got rid of all of our community centers. Now they want to come back and accuse $500 a pay for any dues and charge us $2.2 million. Under my watch. No, we don't need that. We just got out of business. We just got out of business. Talk to me, Billy. We should be angry. We really should. We should know what's going on in this city. Instead of sitting here and listening to this bullshit every week. We need some fire in this chamber. I'm preaching, I'm mad, I'm angry, I'm talking, but I know what I'm talking about.
That's a bad deal. That's a bad deal.
No, I'm saying, I'm
real bad.
I am a person who cares about this city.
You gonna put, they gonna put the growers in your, they considering, they haven't been approved yet. I just found out today, Thomas mentioned it at the meeting I was in. I went up the street because the dog says people live 300 feet. I'm not 300 feet, I'm further down. So I went to somebody who's right behind the Kmart. I said, well, did you get a letter about this? And she said, huh? And I said, they talk about putting a grower in there. And she didn't get nothing. No call, no nothing. I just talked to her. You don't get a call. They don't send you that card. Right, they just send her This is a Kmart right here, right? Okay, my friend Kilson. There's like an alley to go right there, right? And then there's some bushes and stuff. Her house right here. Right there, once you get beyond the alley, the fence line, that's where her yard starts. And her house right there on Job. If that's all set up, they ain't tell nobody nothing. I didn't even know, I know everything. Contact today. This contact, what's it, 12 noon and ask today. And they gonna put a marijuana grower in Kmart with a guy that's interested, but they gonna put stores in and stuff up. I said, what kind of stores? To sell the marijuana or is it grocery stores? You don't need that.
Where is it? How are you?
It used to be in Glenwood Plaza. They didn't go to music. See, Barney Dance, Kmart, Lucy's was in there, Bonanza, a whole. It's a whole. Barney Dance, the only one that's still.
Always happy.
And they don't want to go there. That's what there's two neighborhoods there. And there's a bank right there. Is they run the bank out? Yeah. And you know, it doesn't make sense. You can't run there. Right, because they want to be just people in their houses right up on them when you go up there, up there. And then Johnson's right there. Ain't nothing seniors there. Nobody with that place catching fires, they're gonna kill me and everybody around. And then there's two streets that go behind it. They call it Delco and Grandview and Court. It's University, Martin Luther King, Harry Street, that whole area right there. If they're gonna kill us. And I'm gonna send communicate to all my relatives and say, if I die, it's good. I would say all of us. My cousin's married to a judge in Chicago. He's boom. Yeah. Grocery store, we eat at grocery store bad. IGA is fine. They high. There's a lot of stuff honey things we don't have, like nice stuff. Drugs. Get high and stuff like that. Driving too hard and stuff. Get high, drive to kill somebody.
He's on fire. That's a trap.
It's like gonna be a 7 o'clock.
old lady.
They in there arguing. She ain't getting no presentation.
She was all the way for them.
I just asked the girl who was behind me, and I said, let her talk.
Seat dropping.
That's like, no, they might come here. I said, we go down to the can you pack it and tell us about this commercial? That's the door. The other stuff that comes with the city clerk. Right, and the planning commission is something. That's what I understand. Last time I was in here, it was here one night, and people were, it was more of those marijuana people in here trying to get residents. Here. That's all. That's
Brian. And she came and snatched them from Troy was because his sister came and just grabbed I don't want you to touch them. Don't come back to the body. She goes, no. You're talking to me. Slowly. Don't come back here. She comes back. She gets tired. She comes back the next week. Trying to fight.
I don't want you embarrassed. Good.
Well, you know what the problem is? They're waiting for these water to redecorate the room. And she has to have a design in mind before she can actually take these seats out and put seats in. Other cities have seats that can sit down, you know, stack it. Move to the side, make the room, tables that can drop down for that. The mayor has it. Can't make this a show for us. We did look at the, health department, sidewalk. Let's see, we got, what's the other one? What's the other one?
You know what? I just believe, no matter there's so many resources that our business can do. All you need to do is create an atmosphere, and you got superstars all over the place. But it's for the leadership to create that atmosphere, you know? And they gotta be the one that articulates vision. Without vision, people
My grandmother, Robert,
you know, my dad went to Macedonia. So he used to say the piano, they used to test the church. We got up.
studio.
Are you here for, like, down here for a particular reason?
What?
Huh?
You know, or you just for the music.
That's good, just to get the knowledge. They don't give us enough. We need more. Every week we have. We need to know what's happening. If they don't do that, you know what we're supposed to be doing. If you don't tell me what's happening, we're not gonna have it. So you tell me, you gotta go back to the tax. Let me tell you what happened in the 60s. Johnson. Yes, sir. Back in the 60s. We would finance 10 years. People coming down here every week asking the city council to pass open housing. There was times when black people didn't live above Orchard Lake Road. In Pontiac.
I heard.
I lived there. So we were lobbying the council to pass open housing every week. Guess what happened? We got a job. I should have said we said in the front row. He didn't say not supposed to be sold to anybody but persons you might find it hard to believe. That is true. I can trust they try to destroy history. You don't know where you came from, you don't know where you are. Wilson School over there. Eastern School. You know what's History book? George Washington College. They had Nat Turner. He got hung. They had this he got shot.
Now, I'm thinking
That's it.
their side of the court is the case.
20 years before that, it didn't matter.
You know, when you were mayor. You know, you really make me feel good. You know, criticize me all the time.
You came to my church when Reverend
Oh, yes. Reverend.
West Slant building.
Yes.
And you set up a town hall right over there in that area.
And they named it after Reverend. And we were also involved in the McDonald's. You know, that was your introduction with the volunteers at the and so we were able to build both of those buildings were built with using black. But also,
First part of the really got to deputy mayor.
that's because
They ain't taking care of this on the line. It's
Come out late, and this means that I'm going on the you know, I'm gonna let my kids go. So, we don't get far, he gets it for 5 bills and when he opens there, his prices are the joint sellers, $7,500 a year for adults and children $3,500. And there's nobody here that basketball, you know, and then they have one maybe a few months over there, they can play, but I don't know there, I don't know.
Heard about it. You ever heard about it?
So, then we start bringing these kids on the field in Rochester. And I know he said he was playing the rest of the one of his workers, like, was in the club, and they was doing this before he left. And I knew something was smart for this club uses a lot of water to keep the grass water.
And so I kept watching that video. So next week, about maybe spring, the next spring or so, this plastic cheap thing, you know, like how the silver, some players, some toes, and they got that silver and the lines on that plastic cheap. He gets one of those. And so they're not using that to support anymore. Because kids, they go to Bloomfield or Rochester or something, and they go back there playing that tennis court, or they'll do tennis court inside that you go to anything like a football field. And they're practicing there. So I guess that they're doing all that church good over there. I guess it's going to have time. And it never made sense. I was down there screaming when it first started. So they go to soccer gym, and I said, we're going to go home to California, come back. Then I didn't know if it was going to be in their home. And there's this one right over here. So this side is the one. It was right at nursing home, further down. Way out there, it's like on the fourth floor. And it's in the middle. It's been there since 1920. I found out that they only charge make the loud gas $5 to take it in the stand. And the whole class is $50 a set. Right. And I said, oh, you made it. And I said, you know, you don't know. And if you want to find out what you would charge them like $20 or something, when you would have had some money. We would have come back. They didn't make it no sense, but they wanted to go to the land. They see all the people here. You got the corner, you got the right and they wanted all of it. That's what it was. And then they took them to the office.
Oh, shit. That's what they do, that's what they do. Exactly. Do it. That's the least expensive part. Exactly.
Money? There's no money.
Personality, discipline, and price.
Mr. Clerk, there you go. Just in case, you might want to look it up.
Okay. All right, I'll look it up and see. Yeah, so you know. I'm sorry? Yes.
Close the door. Close the door, Fred.
Yes. We're out of closed session. Do we need a roll call to come out of closed session?
It's a better one that we came up with. I guess.
Okay. Mr. Clerk, roll call to come out of closed session?
Verdict.
Okay. Any city council discussion?
All right.
Roll call?
Carter,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Taylor Burks,
Yes.
Waterman,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes. All right, which brings us to item number 2, a resolution to authorize the mayor to conduct preliminary due diligence regarding the potential purchase of 235 Weston Street and to negotiate the terms and condition of a sale. I'm going to ask the clerk to read the new resolution with the changes that the council made because it's not included in the packet. Yep.
Okay. Whereas the city of Pontiac has been presented with a real estate purchase and sale agreement for the property located at 235 Weston Street. Whereas the City Council Real Estate Subcommittee referred the matter to the Executive Office for further review. Now therefore be it resolved that the mayor is hereby authorized to conduct preliminary due diligence regarding the potential purchase of 235 Weston Street and negotiate terms and conditions of sale and obtain the following due diligent items: title work, no charge; Phase 1 environmental site assessment; Phase 2 environmental site assessment; baseline environmental assessment; appraisal, and related legal fees, all for a cost not to exceed $45,000 and to be completed within 60 days from the date of this resolution.
All right, is there a move?
Move.
Oh,
Council President,
yes, go ahead.
Just one thing, this baseline environmental assessment, because I know it was Phase 1 and Phase 2, it was supposed to be the survey. So is that supposed to be the survey?
The baseline environmental site assessment is included. Forgive me, survey should also be included in there.
Right, that's what I'm
My
saying.
apologies.
So do you guys want to
Yeah, so we need to
just
amend,
amend it to include the survey?
we need to amend the resolution to include the survey, but and then also the word resolution at the bottom is spelled wrong, so it needs to be corrected. You would get suspended rules?
Right, first you gotta suspend the rules.
Okay, well,
Before
okay,
you.
okay, awesome, all right. All right, I need a motion to suspend the rules.
Support.
All right, it's been moved by Councilwoman Doris Taylor Burke, supported by Councilwoman Waterman. Any discussion to suspend the rules? Seeing none, roll call?
Miller,
Just a
suspend the rules.
No.
No, okay. Taylor Burks,
yes.
Waterman,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carter.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Then you want to move this resolution with survey added
With survey added,
and resolution spelled correct.
yes. Is there a motion?
Move.
Supported
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call?
Taylor Burks,
Yes.
Waterman,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carter,
No.
Miller.
No.
Resolution fails.
Okay. Resolution passed. All right. Which brings us to public comments.
Mr. President, the first one up will be Mr. Jeffrey Hawkins. Absent? Okay. Next will be Mike Lombardi.
Evening all.
Good evening.
I'm here on behalf of the children in my neighborhood concerning Crystal Lake Golf Course, having golf balls continuing coming in our neighborhood. Rumor has it, no net. I don't really get that because the owner knows what's going on, 3 kids got hit last year. He knows that. But still, he continues on letting his people golf off of number 3 hole. Trees won't work. They can be put up there. Golf balls ricochet off them and they just go anywhere. I've watched golf balls go right through them trees. you know? I really don't think trees will work. And I don't know where I got the idea that someone told me that DTE was going to donate. I'm sure someone in this building told me that. And that might be a good idea to look into, to see if they're willing to donate the poles. So this guy thinks he can afford this, you know? Because, I mean, the guy makes plenty of money. That place is full every day. You know? Someone's got to do something here before some kid gets taken out. And I'm just going to keep coming up here. What, do I have to line up all the kids on my block here so you can look at them? Make you realize that?
Sir, don't do that.
Well, I'm going to start bringing people up here if I have to.
I've talked to those people, so.
Well, you need to call me and let me know what's going on, because, you know, I'm getting serious here. You know, everyone's turned their backs on me except you.
I'm not turning my back on you.
I know. Something's got to be done. I mean, kids are ducking every time a house is hit. You know, this ain't no foreign country, man. This is Pontiac, Michigan. We don't have to live like that. Kids come first. You know? You guys are city council. You work for the city. These are the people. You work for us, man. Listen to what we got to say. Mostly when it comes to the kids. I'm done. I can't do this no more.
Okay. Mr. Quincy Stewart, and on deck would be Kenny Anderson.
Say hello to my Aunt Millie. I know she's watching. With the Hayes Jones thing, I hope you guys do a good feasibility study on that, and I hope that possibly that Hayes Jones could get, that we could acquire it and get it back. It's one of the things that was stolen along with everything else, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. The next is the issue of a street light, that four-way or delayed turn on South Boulevard and Woodward. I want to thank Patrice for, she called me, let me know that they're going to, that I guess it's MDOT, right? It's going to be doing a study on that so that we can save some lives at that corner. Like I said before, that corner, that whole four-way stop, too many people have died there. So something needs to be done. And next, with the uptick in awareness these days of domestic terrorism, let me make clear what should be obvious. Fox News anchor Tucker Carlson claims white supremacy is a hoax. Well, in an unintended way, he is right. It is a hoax that whites are supreme. Beyond that, institutionalized white supremacy is the dominant reality since this country's founding, and violence, murder, rape, pillage, torture, terrorism, and random destruction have accompanied it. It comes as no surprise to black folks, at least the same ones at least, that the preeminent terrorists are white males. The only question becomes, why are they not profiled, stopped, frisked without probable cause? Why can they be arrested peacefully and with no harm if they surrender after a terrorist act, and my sons and I, and all that look like my sons and I, can be killed during a routine traffic stop? Now, about the assets in Pontiac. Let's take a look. Wastewater treatment plant, stolen. Fire department, stolen. PPD, stolen. Water department, stolen. Hayes Jones, stolen. DPW, stolen. I don't want to be here all night. So when you look at all that was taken from Pontiac, and Walter was right in the hallway, we don't ever talk about that. It's like it never happened. Now, there are those of us here who fought and protested, recalled, spoke all over the state, went to rallies, picketed, did 2 recalls of Jakowski. We went to Waterford Council meetings and was maligned through Lieb, Stampler, and Schimmel. And only 6 or 7 people in this room that I can see right now stood shoulder to shoulder with me, which would be Gloria, Kermit, and Watkins, and Patrice, and some others, that even fought against this. Now, some of the people who complain about the EM, I didn't see you at all. I didn't see you one single time at one protest, at one rally, at anything. But you complain about what the EM did, but I haven't seen you anywhere. So next time you want to complain about what happened here, if you weren't here, you don't have a right to complain, really. Thank you.
Mr. Kenny Anderson and Mr. Bill Maxey on deck.
Good
Good evening, and the struggle for black democratic human rights continues. The topic of my address this evening is threatened white men and racist mass murders. Last week, I ended my public comment speech by stating angry white men are increasingly becoming more violent with arms, like the mass murders in El Paso and Dayton, due to their fear of their looming minority status in America. The threat of the black-brown majority by 2044, 25 years from now. Indeed, to most white males, becoming a racial minority is threatening, if they were honest. A threat of losing their power and privilege, a threat of being victims of racism, receiving the same mistreatment and oppression they've dished out to non-white racial minorities. A fear of their white children and grandchildren facing hardships and distress. A fear of them facing more poverty, unemployment, incarceration, sickness, and death. From my perspective as a conscious black man, history has graphically shown us as black folks that when racist white men feel threatened, they are cold-blooded murderers. For example, in 1863 in New York, white men felt threatened by free black slaves competing for their jobs, resulting in these white men murdering over 100 black folks. This black mass killing was known as the New York City draft riots. Another horrific example of threatened white males murdering of blacks is in Tulsa, Oklahoma. In 1921, white men massacred over 300 black folks because they felt threatened by black folks' success and progress. They were jealous of how blacks had prospered. Not only did these white men commit mass murder, they massively destroyed black homes and businesses, leaving over 10,000 black folks homeless. Let us remember in 2015, a long-threatened white man murdered 9 blacks in a church in South Carolina. I could have provided many more examples of threatened white men's mass murder of black folks. Currently, an ongoing expression of threatened white males is hate crimes against blacks. According to most recent 2018 FBI statistics on hate crimes, blacks are the top victims, 30%. Blacks, not Hispanics, Asian, Jews, or Arabs, carry the most burdens of racist hate crimes. To black folks, I say to us, when we're out and about, pay special attention to white males. Be mindful of them. There are many threatened white men out here who are angry, armed, and dangerous. Watch them like they watch us. The struggle continues.
Mr. Bill Maxey, and then Mr. Chuck Johnson on deck.
Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. Pontiac and governors. I have a few comments. Number one, the focus group, our first one will be on the 24th of August near Telegraph in our park, Washington Park, across from Washington Park. We will meet that morning. Bring your banana, bring your coffee, and we will have focused information, the type of information that we will have. Let me back up. I am President and CEO of Pontiac Urban Institute League. We will have information that is very pertinent to our citizens so that the invisible will become visible. Number one, mortgage money to help those who have problems paying mortgage. There is money. I have documentation. For homeless, there is money. Now, do you know that the Housing Commission, the state of Michigan, Fair Housing, just won a suit against Oakland County for discrimination of African Americans and low-cost homes, rentals. That money has not been decided. See, if our governors don't tell us, how are we going to know? These are some of the things I'll be bringing you information. And when I stand up here and tell you something, I've got paperwork. I've got data. That's two. Third thing I'm very discouraged about, renting. Young folks stop renting these houses, not homes, $800 roll you're in. No down payment. 6 months later, the complaint to me is, hey, you know what? It went up. My costs went up. Within that year, they're back on the street. Start calling me. Calling the Urban Institute and let us go with that contract. I haven't seen contracts that were not properly signed by the sheriff department. Not contracts, but eviction. No, that was not properly signed. Our young folks got problems. They got situations. We need to listen to Mr. Pontiac. Tell you what, next Tuesday, come. Meet me here, all 150 of you, so we could talk about things that are important to us. Without information, we perish. And understand, believe me, I got a wealth of information. There are a lot of things in the city. No genderfying. Last but not least, next Tuesday, we're going to have information that tells you what the people in the city want. There are signs downstairs. That is not our dream. That is not our citizen dreams of what Pontiac should look like. That's transitional from another community. What do our kids say we want Pontiac to look like? What do our citizens say we want Pontiac to look like? Those downstairs is someone else transferred dreams. Hear me out. I'll see you next Tuesday, all 150 of you. Get down here so we can get focused. Thank you. Bill Maxey, Pontiac Urban Institute.
Mr. Chuck Johnson and Renee Beckley on deck.
Chuck Johnson here. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, those of you in the audience and those of you at home watching by television. You know, it appears to me that Gloria just don't want to give up on this petty situation that happened in this council chamber 3 or 4 weeks ago. She was told by 2 different circuit court judges, I have the documented proof here, that she lied. She lied, she lied, she lied. And she just don't want to stop lying and sit back. Just as late as last Friday, and I didn't want it, the judge put a PPO for me against her husband that she caused. It didn't have to be that way. She caused it. But yet you want to sit there all solemn and, this, that, and the other. She needs to stop, because what she's doing, counsel, she's jeopardizing this council, and she's jeopardizing the taxpayers of this community. Because if it continues, I'm going to go to my attorney and have a conversation with him. Now, she needs to talk to somebody up there, or somebody up there needs to talk to her, because she don't seem to want to stop. I got all the documented proof. The second judge looked at the transcripts 4 times and told her to her face that she was lying. The first judge looked at the transcripts and said she was lying. Now, she didn't want to stop right there. I got to go tomorrow morning again and defend myself again against her accusations, which is all lies. And the judges ain't lying. So you need to talk to her, because this reflects each one of you in the long term. I don't have a whole lot more to say about anything else, because I'm kind of upset from all this. I've never been out on Telegraph Road as much as I have in the last 3 weeks, just dealing with this situation. It don't make sense. And it's all because allegation you made and an allegation that she made. And I'm not going to sit back and allow it to continue to happen. I come to these meetings faithfully, have been for over 40 years. And I know what my rights are. And I did not threaten you, and I didn't threaten her, I didn't threaten nobody in this room. But I can promise you something. Let her continue. Thank you very much. Good evening.
Okay.
What has Pontiac become? Oh, by the way, school starts in September. Can your Pontiac child curse up right? Or your adult walking around trying to get a job, they have to sign a job application? That Western Lawn Tennis Club was stolen for $500. Yes, the land and all the property. And he's asked, I believe it was $2.5 million, and it was praised at $300,000. Boy, if I could do this, go down like a wop, like that, this stuff I will. Don't y'all take that deal. It's crazy. I agree with Mary Pete Love for the first time in my life in Gloria, and I guess Randy does see it too. Y'all being played. Now remember, he's renovated that. It's a high ceiling. And Kermit, you know about churches in Detroit, you know, when they can't pay their heat bill. Look into his heat bill, number one. Look in the water bill. See if he's been paying the water bill, watering a lot of grass. Write it down, Randy. Also, I traced Bill Max in. There was a couple years, those taxes over there weren't paid, or they late, or delinquent or something. This is back when, between years, not recently, but I haven't been to the county, but I've been following him. Y'all being played. But also paid a large payola over here. I don't know about what's going over there, but there's something going on there with that, okay? You could use that money to widen the sidewalk so the people on the bike can ride on the sidewalk. Trees haven't been trimmed since Walter Moore was mayor. You use money in the doggone potholes. Now, nobody told me, I live near the Glenwood Plaza. My neighbor did not, Mr. Dahl did not receive a letter. She lived right behind there. She didn't know nothing. Nothing at all. Do not put a grower in the Glenwood Plaza. You got 2 or 3 streets that's right there. And about 4 streets, because there's Dale Cole and Grandview right behind it. That place catch on fire, I'm not smelling it, I get sick, I'm suing everything moving and breathing. Now, if I die, I tell my family to come get y'all. What y'all gonna have? The marijuana industry running Pontiac? Y'all run this. Bike lanes on Perry Street. This man sent me this outrageous letter from MDOT, talk about they got to do a crash study, and if we find deemed necessary, they come up in spring 2020. So we're crash dummies, huh? Like you see the car, we're crash dummies. In other words, we're going to die. That is not a place for the bike lanes. I'm taking action to get those bike lanes removed. Some of y'all already know and seen and dealt with me. And there's steps to this. Get the bike lanes, Perry Street is the wrong street for bike lanes. Pontiac, as we know it, is going away slowly. Because you letting these people from the outside doing their little experiments on us. They're doing what they want to that won't be allowed in their city, but they're going to come here and dump and do step number 2 in the bathroom on us. Y'all got to wake up there. Come on, I'm talking to everybody up there. Not the Whiteman, you ain't for us, you ain't of us, you live in Southfield.
That's your time.
Mr. Robert Birch. Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Dwayne.
No, Madam.
No, he had to leave in emergency. I do have his report. May I give this?
It's fine. This is public comment. This is not report time.
I know it is, but
it's only the name that's on the form. We got to move to the next person.
Dwayne Lyons.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Deputy Mayor, Council President, Council. I came today just to give you an update on the Phoenix Center discussion. Mayor Wildman is planning a town hall. The town hall will take place at the Phoenix Center amphitheater on top of the Phoenix Center. The reason why we're doing that is so that you can take another look at it to see what we're proposing for pavement of the Phoenix Center. Coming here with the designers, attorneys, contractors, and local leaders have to say. We hope that you all will come out to the town hall. The date is Wednesday, August 28th from 6 to 8 p.m. Come on out. I know that everyone is concerned about how you're going to pay for the Phoenix Center and what the process is going to be. So if you have questions, concerns, comments, please come out on Wednesday, August 28th, 6 to 8 p.m. Thank you.
I believe it's Ern Lammer? Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 5.
Good evening. My name is Erin Lammers. I'm a representative of Damascus Consulting and Development at 900 South Lapeer Road in Oxford. I wanted to thank the council for the opportunity to speak tonight. I come before you to hopefully clarify and lend some guidance regarding how parks and playground equipment should be defined. Given that we've recently received numerous calls from property owners, prospective MMFLA applicants, and other stakeholders, we're aiming to clear up any confusion on the matter. So in an effort to conform to common practice, the simplest way to present and understand this language is to utilize state statute for the definition of a playground. This is defined in the Playground Equipment Safety Act of 1997 as an apparatus including but not limited to slides, climbers, seesaws, and swings designed for the recreational use of children and owned and operated by a local unit of government, school district, or any other governmental entity. I've furnished this language to the council previously as it appears in tonight's agenda, which references the City of Pontiac's recreational facilities inventory for city-owned parks. For ease and consistency, the city should follow their own published maps that currently exist from when the MMFLA ordinance was crafted as to what constitutes a park, as well as playground equipment in the first place. Additionally, I'm here to request further clarity on the method for measuring buffer distances between marijuana facilities and precluded uses. So I'm just curious if it is ingress to ingress, meaning driveway to driveway, and then how would this work if the proposed property does not have a driveway? And then lastly, does that differ for parks? Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Daryl Anderson. Oh, sorry. Yeah, there you go.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. Thank you for giving me the time to speak upon something we're doing this weekend. My name is Daryl Anderson. Like I said, I'm a former editor and publisher of the Citizen Post newspaper here in Pontiac, and now I'm coming back out as a promoter, which I was in the 90s. So thank you for the opportunity, Mayor, and Alexander Rowley and John Witz has given me for this weekend's event down at Hidden River Park. So the event, we've been galvanizing the community, trying to diversify an event to bring downtown Pontiac because that's what's needed. You got a community that's filled with diversity, but no one is really kind of making a move together. So what we've done this past week has influenced the Latino community to come in with us this weekend and start more like what we call a silent party. A silent party, if you're not familiar with it, is a group of people getting together, putting headphones on, and you have 3 DJs DJing at the same time. You had the option to listen to whatever DJ you would like to listen to. So what we did, we got with a guy named DJ Wonder. He DJs for the Latino community at the Vogue Lounge, which he actually a lifetime member here in Pontiac, and he's part of the promotion team also with us. So what we're going to do this Saturday, it starts at 5, and we're going to end it at midnight. And we're starting with another DJ, DJ Mecca. This guy is a techno and house DJ, so he's galvanizing his community to come downtown Pontiac. So that will start from 5 to 7. 7 to 9, we will have the Latino community also doing their day party. Then it will end with the silent party. So we're right across the street from the Strand Theater in the Hidden River Park. And we're going to just do a huge event just with a different look to it. So we're just trying to galvanize. We got a lot of support from the community, the Kano Phillips, the Al Peters with his transportation. We can galvanize Jimenez Tires on Mount Com. And we're just trying to galvanize the community just to start this off and just kick it off. So any information, we're on Eventbrite for tickets for the silent party because that's the only thing that's the charge. Everything else is free, and excuse my voice too, I'm trying to suffer in the cold, and it's freezing in here. All right, God. But yeah, we're just trying to get things moving here in Pontiac. Thanks for the support that everyone has given us. We've been doing comedy downtown at My Emergent Space with Mary G. She's doing a fabulous job down there, just bringing different communities downtown Pontiac. And hopefully you all appreciate what's going on here and just give it all the support you can, because we need it. Downtown Pontiac needs it, and it's coming back. So thank you.
I believe the next name is it Terrell Taylor? All right, thank you. How about Jim Erbus?
Hello. I'm Jim from Erebus Haunted Attraction. I guess I just wanted to bring up that, you know, this is our 20th year coming up, and as a result of some nominations that were made, we ended up in the top 20 of the USA Today selection of haunted attractions in the nation. And and I guess what I'd like to get is some assistance, if I may, because it turns out that out of this 20, there's actually a voting program that's going on now. And, I'd like to see us be, right now, as a result of voting that's going on, we're #1 in the country. And I could use some assistance from the Pontiac members if they would, do some voting also. And the actual website is called 10best.com.
Is that 10 or 10, T-E-N?
10best.com.
Okay.
And, we're definitely a part of the community, and we bring people from all across, not only our southeastern Michigan, but people come across the country to see who we are, and I'm blessed to be able to have this opportunity to do this in Pontiac, and, I'm thanking that Pontiac has always welcomed us. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, Mr. Blair McGowan.
Blair McGowan from the Crowfoot, 1 South Saginaw. We send an email out every Thursday to 260,000 people who have purchased tickets at the Crowfoot. And when we send it out next week, we're going to urge everybody to vote for Erebus as the #1 haunted house in the United States. Because that's what we think it is. We think Erebus is #1. It's my favorite haunted house, and I've been to haunted houses all over America. And every Halloween, I take whatever kids I'm with, we go haunted houses all over. So you're going to get our vote. We're going to send it to 250,000 people on Thursday. That's not why I came up to talk, though. I was pleased that the clerk is going to incorporate the community benefits into the way he scores the applications for medical marijuana provisioning centers. That makes sense. I wanted to say again, though, I think it would be very valuable for the clerk to create a model contract so the people applying for these dispensaries can make an enforceable commitment to the benefits that they talk about. The people that did this petition drive were interested in running marijuana dispensaries. They weren't interested in helping the city of Pontiac. So in the scoring, they talk about what they plan to do, what they intend to do, what they hope to do, but they don't talk about what they're gonna do. And the language is very similar to marriage vows. I'll love you forever, to death do us part. That's not enforceable. And the contract, the application isn't enforceable. So I suggest that the clerk have his attorneys create a short enforceable contract, and if applicants want to use it, great. It'll be enforceable, not for 1 year, but for however many years they promise. And if some medical marijuana applicant says, I'm going to give $5,000, great. How many years? 30 years? And the contract should say it's assignable, so when they sell it out to Philip Morris or some national company, their community benefit is assigned to Philip Morris. And it should be scored accordingly. If applicant chooses not to use the contract and they want to go back on the promises, hopes, and good intentions, that's fine. Score it for what it's worth. 0. But if they put an enforceable contract in there that the clerk promulgates, then you've got a basis to score it competitively. I also think that if they just put in their own contract, the poor clerk and his attorneys are going to end up reading 100 different contracts to see if they're real or if they're enforceable, and we're going to be spending thousands and thousands of dollars with attorney time comparing contracts. Write one contract, make it simple, make it enforceable, and give the applicants the option of using an enforceable contract. And if they don't, give them 0 points. Thank you.
All right. Pastor Matlock.
That's a good thing to do.
That's number 13. One more.
Good evening, Council, Mayor,
citizens of Pontiac. When the government of Pontiac changed from a city manager to a mayor's and council form of government, prayer was part of the meeting in those meetings. In the 60s, a woman named Madam O'Hare led the fight to remove prayer from our schools. The law was passed. What followed were drugs, perversion, lack of students being educated. Some received scholarships from college. Some were sent home, could not write their own name. How sad. They were not prepared for college. We are working and praying for our schools to turn around in Pontiac because our children need a good education. When it was said that prayer should go back to your churches, not at our council meeting. Freedom to speak is for everyone, not just a few. I care for the people of Pontiac. I care for our council, our mayor, deputy mayor. I care that all of them be respected. They are in my prayer every morning as I pray for this city. You see, I believe God's heart is to turn this city around for good, and God uses people to do His will. I believe in Pontiac. Mayor, it's always good to see you. We had some good times together. And I just pray that our council, our mayors will unite together for the good of the citizens of Pontiac. We will come together in love, harmony, and unity, and we will see Pontiac excel greater than it's ever been, because I believe in this city. I want to believe in our council. I want to believe in our mayors, that we're going to work together for the good of the people of Pontiac. May the Lord bless you. Be encouraged. It's not done yet.
Amen. Mr. Walthamore? It closes out tonight. 7:03.
Hello, my people.
Oh?
It's a joy to be here today, and I've heard a lot of things, but there's just a few things that I'd like to say before vacating this microphone. One of the things that I talked about, and I appreciate you, Randy, giving me a call to talk about what I was here the last time about in terms of public utilities. I still haven't really got, and I would welcome that. There's some things that I think that the city, period, the mayor, the council, I appreciate you having a public hearing on the Phoenix Plaza. I don't know what that's about, but I appreciate it happening up there, but I think it should happen in this chamber here, because this provides an atmosphere. We want to know the particulars on terms of what happened with that. Not only that, but we want to know what happened with all of our assets. And I urge this council, before you start talking about buying a building, people in this community want to know what happened to the buildings that we bought, because we want to know the real story. Nobody has really told the real story about the emergency manager. And to respond to Quincy, I don't want to do that, I shouldn't do it. But I marched when they were trying to take our police department. And so, but I don't have to justify, we circulated petitions to overturn the emergency manager law. But I just say this to everyone here. Sometimes we have to go back to really know where we are right now. Because if we don't know where we are right now, we're just making decisions, and we're doing it in a haphazard way. I'm not saying that that's happening, but I want to know what is the strategic plan for this city. Don't just deal with issues as they come forth, because then that's no plan. It's not done in a coordinated way. And if we're going to ever be successful as a city, we have to inform people as to what we own. We own this stuff. Nobody up there owns it individually, but collectively, all this stuff that we're talking about is ours. And the citizens of this community are the stockholders. They're the ones that own this stuff. And so we're only putting you in positions to make decisions on our behalf. But what are you telling us? Who knows about what's happening? You should, if you're going to talk about the Phoenix Center, you should talk about these marijuana facilities, not just to prove it. What's going on? Why don't you tell the citizens? I'm talking about breaking it down so people understand. Not just because you got the information, that makes you powerful. But if you got the information and you're the only one got it, you're not really powerful because people are going to blame you for not telling them about what's going on. And so I just say, in terms of, I wanted to talk about our health care too. My 3 minutes is up. Oh, Lord have mercy. You know, I just want to say this before I go. You know, I know that elected officials can come down here and they get their time at the beginning of the meeting on their own and say what they wanted to say. You know, I am an elected official. I'm an elected official from the past, and I'm an elected official right now. I chair the pension board. We manage $500 million for the retirees of this city. The retirees of this city and this system is who elect me. I represent them. And so I just, not that I'm lobbying for any special position, but I just want to tell you all of it. I take it kind of personal when I come to this microphone as a mayor that served this city for 10 years, 8 years as county commissioner, probably 15 years on the general retirement system. And yet I'm relegated to 3 minutes to be able to talk to my elected official. Thanks for allowing me to speak.
Mayor Moore, I do have a question for you, since you went on this rabbit hole. Was Hidden River Park ever a park when you were mayor?
It was. It wasn't formally a park.
Okay.
It was a part of the downtown area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just want to know
my
that.
information.
And then I want to say this publicly. Anytime you want to give a special presentation on behalf of the pension board, just let us know and we'll put you on the agenda so you can give a special presentation.
What I would want you to do in terms of is find out what's happening with the retirees. People are dying out here because they don't have health care, and yet we seem to be dragging our feet. I'm not down here blaming it on anybody, but all I'm saying is the job's got to get done.
Okay, all right. All right.
Any public comment?
I'll have another report next week.
Councilwoman Miller wanted a point of privilege.
I need a point of privilege because when someone attack my integrity and my character, I have to speak up. I'm going to say this one time and one time only. This incident with Mr. Johnson, anyone watched the video know that he threatened me. He threatened me. It was so bad someone in the audience called the police. And that's how this started. But I was sitting here and I was thinking about something. I said, God, I must be doing something because I'm a center of attention. First of all, Mr. Johnson, no one can talk to him, a grown woman. And I can stand up for myself. And I have watched him for years bully people, and you got the wrong person this time. Don't come to the podium with this drama. People don't watch this meeting to talk about what happened. This incident happened months ago. You never heard me mention it because I always take the high road because I represent people. I represent a district, and my district know me. I carry myself with character. I'm going to tell you what's on my mind, but I'm decent and order, and I love everybody. White, black, everybody. But I have a problem is with corrupt and uncorrupt. But I will not mention this incident with Mr. Johnson anymore. What he's saying is not true. There's more than one side to a story. Just remember that. There's more than one side to a story. I don't think this is the place nor the forum for him to come up and mention anything about us. Be a man. Handle your business in the street. We can handle it with our lawyers. But I will not mention this anymore to you. That is not the case. I am a respected person in my district. Will always carry myself with respect in my district. Love my citizens. Stay on the ground with my citizens. But I will not be bullied. I am not the one. Anybody, they know me. You can't bully me, Chuck. So keep that stuff from the mic. Be a man. Do like we used to do all in the old day. Come to my house. Come talk. Let's talk. don't bring that down here on council. That's why you said at the courthouse, this is a circus. He told the court that we're a circus, but you're the one in the ring. All I'm saying is, stop it. County Council don't need this kind of drama. They don't come down here to hear this. That was nothing need to be spoken at that podium. I handle my person, I am a person, I handle my business away from here. I don't need all that personal stuff come down to the mic. Please stop coming down here talking about that. Let the chips fall where they may, and that's it. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. All right, which brings us to item number 4, designation of Hidden River Park as a city park and possible measurement discrepancies between Ordinance 2357B and the Ordinance 2363. Mr. Clerk.
This discussion is on the agenda because there have been several people who have contacted the clerk's office in regards to the issues surrounding Hidden River Park being designated as a city park, and that there are measurements discrepancies between the ordinance that was adopted by the people, which cannot be amended for 18 months, and the zoning ordinance that was adopted by this city council. So it's really here for the council to discuss and I guess get some kind of clarification from either the city attorney or something as to these particular issues.
Okay, so I'm going to let Attorney Chubb open it up. For those of you in the audience, this discussion is the park that Mr. Anderson mentioned is going to have the silent party in this weekend, which is across the street from the Strand Theater. It is 100% paved, concrete, no grass of any sort. It used to be a water fountain in the middle that they've planted over, and so according to when the city received the beautiful Kaboom grant, we were informed that it was already a park, and they had put some plastic drum equipment downtown solidifying that. So if you could speak to that, Attorney Chubb.
Sure. I didn't put this item on the agenda, but I'm happy to answer any questions about it. Specifically, though, I want to answer first the second issue with regard to potential conflict between 2337 and 23, I'm sorry, between 2357B and the zoning ordinance that was adopted related to medical marijuana facilities. The Zoning Enabling Act is very clear that to the extent that there are any contradictory ordinances with regard to zoning, with a zoning ordinance that was validly adopted under the Zoning Enabling Act, that the zoning ordinance preempts any other inconsistent ordinance because it was adopted under the statutory authority provided through the Zoning Enabling Act to the local government, which you did adopt. Secondly, with regard to the buffer provisions set forth in 2357B at sub 10, sub F, sub 8, those are not prohibiting or requiring those buffers. They simply provide extra points if a dispensary and only a dispensary is consistent with those buffer requirements, so there's no inconsistency between them. With regard to the park, I'm unclear as to what the question is. It's my understanding historically the drums were adopted or were placed in the park in December of last year. And so that's when the playground equipment became a part of the park, but its designation as a park, I'm not familiar with the historical context of that.
So let me say this, Attorney Chubb, because you brought up two different things. I want to stick on the park because that's what I want to talk about first. The city documentation, the city website, the master plan, all of these things, none of them have Hidden River Park listed as a park in the city. I don't know When the city administration decided to put drums downtown, and I don't remember or recall any city council approval to designate the land as such. I went through and looked at minutes from previous things that talked about that piece of land as a parcel, and it's better to call it Hidden River Park than call it hole in the middle of the street. I get that. But just because you name it park doesn't make it a park. And so I was trying to find the documentation that said that on this day, the city deemed this as a park. When we go back to Murphy Park, we can talk about when it was deeded over to the city. When we talk about Bodette Park, Pro Tem Carter can tell you the history of how Bodette Park came to be. When it got to Hidden River Park and medical marijuana, it seemed that now, after these applications have been, after the voters had approved these 20 dispensaries, and the city council had then subsequently said that we would have up to 5 downtown, automatically, we now had a park where concrete land happened to be. My concern is there is no padding around those drums or whatever you're calling it downtown. If a kid was to actually go and play on that equipment, they would crack their head and skull wide open. There is no sand chips, there are no anything that is there. I am grateful that it's an entertainment space, maybe a gathering space. There's many appropriate names, bonfire area for that place, but I have not been able to find any justification that that is a park. What my concern is, Attorney Chubb, is after there had been a general understanding, and I'm so tired of just the whole marijuana discussion of where this was going to be. Now it seems that in December, it was unilaterally made a decision, because there's no council resolution that I can find that said, or even a report from DPW, community development, or anybody else, that we were going to add drum equipment to the area in which is defined as Hidden River Park. And that lack of information leads me to believe that the only reason that it's now classified as a park is to preempt things that would be available for certain people. And so I just want the clarity to find out how the administration designates a park without a resolution, a proclamation, any documentation that has come to the city council. And if I missed it and you guys can produce it, then I am willing to stand at this microphone and apologize to the mayor's office and all city administration because of it. But if you are not able to produce it, then the justification for Hidden River Park being a park is mute, because the other 28 parks that we use in the city have justification. I'm not here to argue about what playground equipment is and what it is not. What I'm here to argue about is you can't just call land, like we can't just call City Hall a park because somebody decided that City Hall was a park yesterday without city council approval. The only body here in the city that can buy, sell, or dispose of land is the city council. I've been sitting here 10 years, and over the 10 years, there's never been a resolution for Hidden River Park to be a park that has come across that I have voted on. So I'm asking you, Attorney Chubb, because you're the one who mentioned the documentation in December. There should be subsequent documentation that says that on this day, we deemed this park Hidden River Park. Anything less than that, it does not have the qualifications to be a park.
Okay, well, firstly, you referenced the council's authority to buy or sell property, which is set forth in the charter at section 6.409. It's not something that should be conflated with whether Hidden River Park is a park. That's probably a historical determination. That's not a legal question. Maybe the mayor, would you like to add to the historical process of it?
What's the question? I'm sorry, about whether it's
Hidden River
designated,
Park
how
is
it's
a park.
designated. Parks are designated according to our according to our Parks and Recreation Master Plan. So I understand that you said that you hadn't had a chance, you didn't know this was going to be on, you hadn't had a chance to look that up. So I presume that you want the opportunity to do that and then report back to the
Sure,
council.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys can turn to page 10 of the recreation inventory, because I want to make this noted for the record before people try to change it. All of the parks are listed, 32 parks, and where Hidden River Park would go, because they're in alphabetical, or they're in order, Hidden River Park is not listed as any of the 32 parks that are on that listing. It is also not listed in the last master plan. It is not also listed in the last Parks and Recreation Plan. We have schools that have since been torn down, and Hidden River Park is not included. LeBaron School, for example, Longfellow School, McCarroll School, Owen School are all on this list. Hidden River Park did not make any of those listings. And so what I'm saying is I'm not waiting for a report. I'm just trying to figure out how you add drums to abandoned, for lack of a better term, parking lot, a slab of concrete, and call it a park. With not any justification. That's all I'm asking, because the one thing that is constantly brought up is the council's need, especially my need as city council president, to add on unnecessarily legal fees. And so in saving the citizens money, people suing us about the designation of a piece of property, that if I can find this information, they will be able to find this information and justify their claim that could be scoring, and they say that it's adversely affecting their ability not only to sell their property, use their property, or to have a dispensary in that area because of it. And the clerk has been getting these calls. So it's not just me. The clerk has been inundated with calls from people in that area asking those questions. And so if there is an ability to get the musical equipment, call it an entertainment space or whatever, I'm open to all of that. I just feel like we're going to be hard pressed as a city to prove that Hidden River Park is a park by any other recommendation of these other 32 areas that are in the city. There is no other place that's on this list that looks the way that park looks, is configured the way that park looks, and doesn't have any of the equipment that the others have. Madam Mayor.
Yeah, I suggest, in terms of your questions, that the counselor did say that he hadn't had a chance to study this, and that he needs to go back and look at the historical context. Now, I also bring to your attention that after the installation of this equipment, that the council did go ahead and affirm that it was a park, because when they approved the Kaboom grant, you approved it for Hidden River Park. So in your resolution, you also approved what was designation as a park, and accepting the grant, which we have accepted formally as the city.
Attorney Chubb said at that meeting, and I don't think you were in attendance, Madam Mayor, that because they had already put the drum equipment in Hidden River Park, those buffering requirements for medical marijuana had already been in place before we accepted the Kaboom grant. I asked that question personally, and so that's why I remember what it was, because I said, was this going to change the designation of the piece of property? He said no, because the property has already been changed because it was Hidden River Park back in December. Is that not a correct assertion, Mr. Chubb?
That's not correct. There's a slight distinction, and what that distinction is solely that I said that because to the extent that this was a public park with playground equipment, which is the exact language of the statute, that it was the same public park with playground equipment back when the drums were installed. It's just a slight distinction, but it's important.
It's not playground.
So let me just be clear, because I got some people that watched it, and then I can bring the tape. Because I hate to go back and forth with simple stuff. If I can't trust the city attorney to tell me information, because I would have voted differently on the Kaboom resolution. We suspended the rules to vote on that because it was time sensitive. They told me it was already designated, and it wouldn't affect anybody's application because the playground equipment was already there in December. I don't know how you then subsequently...
Because the playground equipment was already there. That's the question that you asked, is whether adding Kaboom changed it, and I said no, the drums were already there.
But the mayor just said by adding Kaboom, I affirmed it as a park.
She didn't say it was by adding...
That's what she just said.
She said that She said that your resolution itself reaffirmed that it was a park because you called it a park in the resolution.
Okay.
That's part of a historical acknowledgement of it that doesn't have anything to do with the addition of the kaboom.
So let me ask this question, because I want to get home tonight. I got to work early in the morning. Let me ask this question, Attorney Chubb. Does the council have to make a resolution redesignating that piece of land as something else? Because we can just do a resolution tonight that says that Hidden River Park is now an entertainment complex for the city, and therefore it is not a park. And if we have to do that, then let's do that, because I don't want to play semantics with you. Clearly, the questions that I ask, if I don't ask the right key phrase, you guys are going to use it against me in the future. So I'm just trying to figure out how we move this in order for the city, A, not to get sued, B, still be able to accept the entertainment equipment, because they clearly said at that meeting that this was not going to be parking park equipment in the traditional sense. That's what the deputy mayor said. But clearly, people can't recall what they say at the microphone. So what do we need to do as far as a resolution so I can ask for a suspension of the rules to redesignate that as something different? Because clearly, the information that I got when we voted on the Kaboom grant, maybe I misinterpreted. Because my understanding was I wasn't affirming it as something that it wasn't in order to get a grant, because that was in the name. So please, as the city attorney, tell me the language that the clerk needs to read into the record, so I can make a motion, first to suspend the rules, and then secondly to vote on a resolution to designate that as something other than a park.
Hey, Council President, these types of things I need heads up on, and they need to be properly researched to ensure that it's not inconsistent with applicable statutes or state law. And so I'm happy to do that.
All right.
Research.
Go ahead, President.
Thank you, Council
Bring
President.
it next week, President.
All right. I just had a couple questions to the attorney that, about the Hidden River Park. There's no city signage. There's no hours of operation. There's not a handicap buffer area. The drums are labeled not to be climbed upon. Experimentation, Fillmore 13, and Pops also have liquor stores that are in direct proximity to that. So the last thing I was going to read is within the state law said a local zoning must allow the continuation of a non-conforming use. Section 208 P8 110 of 206, Michigan Zoning Enabling Act. Also, local zoning act must allow the continuation of a non-conforming use and the expansion of a non-conforming use. It already existed. It's already grandfathered. You can't just go put crap out there and say now it's a kid's park.
Yeah, you're misunderstanding the purpose of the non-conforming use in the context of the Zoning Enabling Act. I've used that and reviewed that many times, and that simply says that subsequent enactment of provisions inconsistent of those that allowed a place to operate still control, and it does not impair their license that's already been granted. That's not speaking to the calling of the park a park or not a park. That's solely about the fact that Pop's Party Store did have a packaged liquor license.
Yes.
If it became inconsistent later because they had that prior to the establishment of the marijuana ordinance or anything else, then they would still be grandfathered in. That's all that is saying.
Are the homeless still allowed to sleep in that area? Is it okay?
Sleeping in public is a violation of our Loitering and Disorderly Act. That's a different misdemeanor entirely.
I'm just wondering, I mean, they have tents there every night. I'm just wondering if the city might want to do something about that. Thank you.
I would like to say something, Mr. President.
Councilman.
I would like to say something, and Mayor Moore, you inspired me to do something every meeting. You said to tell the people what we're doing. So I'm getting ready to tell the people what we're doing, what was done. That's what I'm good at. That's what I do, honesty. Let's go back a little bit, public. When we first started out initially with this marijuana issue, we dragged for 5-6 months. Oh, maybe 8 months. I mean, for the longest. I had so much marijuana, I could smell it in my head sometime when I leave here. I would just, marijuana. So, my opinion of the people, the way I work, is that I'm for the people. We work for the people. We can't please everybody, but we're going to please most. So if anyone roll the tape and go back, there was a meeting and the people from downtown wasn't in the original orders for the marijuana. So Pontiac, listen to me. This is what's going on. I don't want you played. I seen too much of it. I done walked too hard for you over years. I done fought too hard for us to go back. I will not allow you to get played. I'm going to tell you what's going on. So, the people from the marijuana wanted it downtown. So we came up with a consensus. 5, 5, 5, 5. You know, go downtown. But if you look back at it, the administration wasn't big on putting them downtown. Never did. But then you have to think to yourself, wow, all of a sudden they built up a park, and so now they can't really go downtown anymore. See, this stops them. Transparency, people. Transparency. I will not. And you know, I was going down Featherstone today and I was praying. I said, God, if you put me here for one reason, just to free my people from corruption, I will do it all by myself. We got to stop it. I live here. Do better. And that's what's going on. And we're getting ready to get our butts sued off Pontiac if we don't open this thing back up, because it is a law and we passed it. Stop using the people for political reasons. Stop it. And if I don't do anything else while I'm here the next 2 years, I will open your eyes up. Because I'm new. And I happen to know a lot. And it's time for me to start telling you a lot. And you're right, Mayor Moore. I will not. I want to be able to go next door to my neighbors and sleep at night and know I did the right thing sitting here. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, Madam Mayor?
Yes, I would just like to add something to it. I don't want to make it an emotional thing.
This motion is fact.
I'm not sure what you just said, but at any rate, as I was saying, if I can continue my statement, the ordinance, you know, we came up with a solution. It took us a while to come up with an ordinance that was a compromise of what everybody wanted. Different people wanted different things. And so we came up with a compromise after working with that worked for everybody, I think. So everybody got something. And the things that we wanted to make sure of, number one, we could use, this would be an economic development. And that was what we achieved by getting the kind of ordinance written the way it was, and that benefited the people in the city. Number two is that we wanted to make sure that we had a chance for local people to be involved in these projects as possible, so we made sure that that was somehow factored in. And number three, we wanted to make sure that what the people wanted was that it was buffered from the neighborhoods happened. And so it took a while to make sure all those ran, but we kind of stuck to our guns on that, and we're happy that that is what it's turned out. Now, for the downtown, just to let you know, one of the things, and I'm not going to argue about whether it's a park or not, that's something, as you said, the attorney will agree with you. I just know historically, that's what it seems to be happening, and it seems council thought the same thing too. So we'll find that out. But one of the things we want for our downtown, and I hear people say, is that we want to make sure our downtown stays family friendly, you know. And so when I want it to be family friendly, you know. We don't want to have a downtown that is a red zone that our children and our families can't come to. We want it to be walkable, and we want to be part of the community. We want people to be able to come to our downtown. So when I hear an argument that, well, we shouldn't have this because it's going to be close to something that children can't come to, then that, is a problem for me, because I want this to be a family-oriented downtown where it's rooftops bring footsteps to our businesses. But in terms of, the buffers and the Hidden River Park, that wasn't the decision why we decided to do that, because it's been a park, as far as I know, all along, and because they've had events and play things going on. Art crawl, they bring teepees in there and the children play and things like that. But I understand that one of the things that, as some people have who are considering provisioning centers downtown, say we understand, we want it to be a walkable a downtown with green space. And they've come with things that may be a community benefit that says that we can do something else in place of having the Hidden River Park, and still make sure that we have a walkable downtown that's family friendly, that has green space. So as we get these applications, and we'll see, who has community benefits, which are part of the application process, that may give us an alternative to having that kind of green space downtown. But all the planners who have come said make sure to have green space, a walkable downtown, places where people can come and enjoy and have it be a part of that downtown. So that's what we want to achieve in the end. And I hope we don't have all the emotionalism accusation and, all the recreating history on that. I just want to have something in which we have this business brought to town in a way that's commensurate with the values we hold as a city and with the things that we want our downtown to develop to be.
Council President.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Before you go, Attorney Sharp, I just want to mention this point, because we're talking about the Kaboom grant. Nowhere in the grant does it require that piece of area to be a park. So I want to let everybody know that, because there'll be a Spirit of Pontiac out talking about council gives back grant money or whatever by changing the designation. So I just want to make sure that's very clear to the audience. Attorney Sharp.
May I just suggest that you make your request to Attorney Chubb so that he can bring it back, you guys can bring it back next week to address it. So restate your question so that he can have your question answered for next week.
Yes. Attorney Chubb, I would request a resolution that designates the area and parcel number of what is formerly known as Hidden River Park as entertainment space for the city of Pontiac and not a park.
Okay, I'll look into that.
For next Tuesday. All right, thank you, which brings us to item number 5, which is adoption of an ordinance to amend 42 community development to add Article, 7, entitled Community Benefit Agreements, first reading. Mr. Doyle.
Well, actually, Ordinance 5 relates to the ordinance prepared by the city attorney. You added 5B onto your agenda, which is a subsequent ordinance that was prepared by Mr. Neal, who is the attorney that is advising me on the application, because initially, I believe I was the one who inquired about a community benefits ordinance as a way to assist with the scoring of the medical marijuana applications. The current ordinance that was prepared by the city attorney does not give any kind of assistance or mechanisms to assist with the scoring. So the alternative ordinance does, and Mr. Neal can explain the details of the ordinance. And subsequently, what it does is takes out any mention of, because Mr. Chubb put medical marijuana as Tier 1 into his ordinance, so removes the Tier 1 and Tier 2 references out of his ordinance, so that we would have a separate community benefits ordinance that deals with tax incentives, economic incentives for the city, and designates an ordinance which is called the Provisioning Center Community Benefits Agreement, which allows people in their application to make a pledge to state what their particular community benefits are based on the things that you highlighted in previous meetings. That could be factored into the scoring. Then once the applications are scored, the actual pledges will be turned into an agreement, which would be finalized by the mayor and then approved by this city council before a permit is issued.
Okay. Can Mr. Neely come? Yeah, Mr. Neal come up first, and then I bring back Attorney Chubb afterwards.
Hello.
Hello.
So, as the city clerk explained, the purpose of this ordinance is specific to the provisioning center scoring process. So the prior ordinance, community benefits ordinance that was put into place, was a little bit more general. It covered the medical marijuana and other developments. This ordinance is just specific to the provisioning center scoring portion And once that portion is done, then this ordinance, other than the continuing community benefits agreements that would be in place, would no longer be effective, and there could be other ordinances to cover other community benefits.
Anybody have any questions?
Mr. President, I guess my only concern is, I'm looking at both of them, and I've gone through both of them. So are we agreeing on both of them? They're just separate entities? Is this what's happening? 5, and then 5B?
We vote on the
5B is scoring, and then 5 is just adopted ordinance that we'll be doing for first reading? Is that, Mr. Clerk?
I'm saying that they're both.
Or should yours be the one? I need
Well,
clarity.
mine only addressed provisioning centers, so it would not address
So they separate.
economic incentives that the city offers, tax incentives, tax breaks. That's not addressed in the proposed ordinance that I'm proposing. So Mr. Chubb's original ordinance put the two all in one. I'm saying that they should be two separate
Separated. Okay.
ordinances. Yeah.
Okay. Attorney Chubb, and then I'll recognize the mayor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so procedurally, I think was your first question, Council President. What I'd recommend is, because I did just receive the 5B today, we can do these both as a first reading for both of them. They're not adopted until a second reading, so this provides us the ability to use either of these as the basis for anything that we can adopt in the second reading, because we are kind of up against a deadline. In a quick review of this, the way that the ordinance was drafted that I prepared was based on my understandings of the intentions or the interests of this council, and so we can look at both of these, and it's really at the discretion of the council, of course. The one thing that I would say is that I think that with regard to 5B, this only provides required incentives and community benefits agreements for provisioning centers, and I would say that we should consider opening them up to all medical marijuana facilities, because I think that if we do have, regardless of whether it's a provisioning center or a grower or a secure transporter safety compliance facility, I think that they should all be required to give benefits to the community that are enforceable by contract. And so that's one consideration I'd have with regard to 5B. Like I said, if we do a first reading of both of them today, which requires no action by the council, we have the week to look them over and decide what to adopt next week.
Okay. Madam Mayor?
Yes, I just have a question. I see, I just got my copy of this today. I don't know whether you had a longer time to review. You got yours just this today as we sat down for the meeting. I had a question really of Mr. Neal then. Mr. Neal, as we just are getting this to review, and it's an 8-page document, and which, ordinances for the city should be done with some care and certainty. And I just wonder if you realize that the city charter does require the city attorney to approve ordinances as to form. Were you aware of that provision in the city charter?
I was not aware of that specific.
Well, that is true in our city charter. So I just wanted to inform you of that, and I hope that you can be well advised that if you're presenting ordinances, the attorney has to have.
Oh, no, I understand.
Okay, yes, thank you for that.
Mr. Clerk?
Just to be clear, that's why this is a first reading. Per the charter, the city attorney approves ordinances to form. He does not have to draft all ordinances. And this is basically based upon what the city attorney had drafted, but just simply separating medical marijuana into a separate ordinance. And again, it is a provision in here that agreements would actually be final agreements would be negotiated by the administration.
We just haven't had a chance to read it. We hadn't had a chance to study it, and I don't know why it had to be presented at the last minute. The city business should be discovered with some gravity and some certainty, and I think.
I just wanted to say that I think, I agree with Attorney Chubb. I think that you should just go ahead and just kind of do a first reading for both. It gives you a week to look at both. And I actually do agree with Attorney Chubb's recommendation potentially for the B to apply to all marijuana growers, processors, as well as provisioning centers.
Okay, so do I need to suspend the rules so we can vote on the first readings? So we can have the first readings?
You don't have to do, you don't have to vote on first reading.
Under section 3.112, we don't need to actually take any specific action
Don't do any
for a
vote on
first
first
reading.
reading.
Right.
So,
We will
procedure-wise,
Procedure-wise, the clerk will publish a summary of both ordinances in the paper, and then next week, you will be able to adopt the ordinances, or a revision of the ordinances.
okay.
Okay.
So, item number 5, the first reading has happened, is what you're saying?
In 5.
And 5B.
And 5B.
Okay, let it be noted for the record that the first reading of both have happened. Which brings us to item number 6. Mr. Clerk?
So I just wanted to inform the mayor and the council and the public that we have now begun to receive applications for growers, processors, secure transporters, and safety compliance. We actually have received one application for a grower, one application for a processor, one application for a secure transporter. With that being said, there are some things that actually need to happen within the next 30 days so that we can process these applications in a timely manner. One is the mayor needs to appoint the Medical Marijuana Commission, and the commission needs to meet to establish its rules. The city council needs to approve the rules of the Medical Marijuana Commission. The city needs to issue an RFP for a professional expert financial advisor to the city clerk, who will assist the clerk with the financial review of the applications. This was put in the budget, this fiscal year's budget. The city needs to issue an RFP for a hearing officer. And then all staff involved in the review of applications need to complete and sign the conflict of interest disclosure statement that is also included in the packet.
Okay. Wow. Those are a lot, Mr. Clerk, so who's going to keep us, I guess, updated or abreast on how we're checking off those things?
I will make sure that I keep this honorable body abreast as to what's transpiring, but I wanted to bring this to the public's attention so that these items can move forward with rapid speed. So therefore, it won't be said that I'm delaying the process. There are some things that I have requested and that also need to be in place, because the appeal process allows for people to go before a hearing officer and the Medical Marijuana Commission. So if by chance we were to deny an application, it's a time frame. You have to, within 14 days, ask to go before the hearing officer or waive your right to go before the hearing officer. So we need to make sure we have the hearing officer in place. And then the Medical Marijuana Commission also needs to be in place as well, too. And then to help me with the financial review of the applications, the financial advisor needs to be in place.
Madam Mayor?
Yeah, the application, as it was sent out, does require certain city departments to be involved in the review of the applications. So one of the things that also needs to be put in place, and the clerk has promised us this for some months now, is a flow chart by which I can instruct and deploy our relative city department heads and how they can be involved in this process. We want to make sure that we are working according to the ordinance and working in a timely fashion. So we're just waiting from that from the clerk. I think on the absence of that, I think our city attorney has started to draft that flow chart, because I have to advise my staff how they need to be advised in this and what their parameters are. So I hope we can work on that fairly soon.
As relates to the flow chart, per the ordinance, the only people that have to be involved in the process is planning, the building department, and the fire. No other departments per the ordinance have to be involved. Those are the 3 departments: planning, building, and fire. But what I have said previously is that some other departments will be involved in the process, but I cannot direct the administration to do anything.
I have to do
I
that.
have asked the various departments to give me an estimation as to how long it would take them to review the applications. The application review forms were approved. I reissued those forms out last week. I still have not gotten any type of estimation on time as to how long the period will occur for them to do their review. So, as the mayor mentioned, so hopefully the city attorney, from the administration standpoint, can prepare that flow chart to show how long it will take the various departments to do their review based upon the reviews that were agreed upon.
Council President?
Attorney Sharp?
If I may, if I can just suggest, considering that the clerk is requesting that these items be completed in 30 days, maybe he should bring this status update back in 2 weeks.
I agree with that.
Update.
Are you amenable to that, Mr. Clerk? Okay. All right. Pro Tem Carter, yep.
Mr. Clerk? Yes. I'm just trying to get a little understanding. From the time the people voted on this August the 7th of last year, we're at the 1-year time frame. Was that for evaluation between the state of Michigan on how the program was going to work? Because the recreations come up in, I think, in November. Wasn't there a study period that we should have been operating at on how the functionality of how these medical dispensaries should be working? I believe it was a 1-year time frame.
I'm not aware, I don't know if Mr. Neal is aware of a 1-year time frame. I'm not aware of a 1 year.
Because we already there.
No, I'm not aware. Are you talking about in the medical marijuana ordinance?
Yes.
I'm not aware
They
of
put
that
out,
either.
there was a 1 year, there was a 1 year test.
Oh, that the
over-
state put out?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, not the city of Pontiac.
Right, so from the time they voted,
Yep.
August the 7th, we already at 1 year. So I was just wondering what requirements might have to happen. That's all. I can look into it.
Yeah, I'm not aware of anything specifically. I don't know if, yep.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'll get the state.
All right, we're gonna move on to item number 7.
Mr. President.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
I would ask that we suspend the rules and vote on 7, 8, and 9, because I know Mr. Russell's event is this weekend, and
Okay, well, yeah,
part of the record.
okay, is there a motion to suspend the rules to vote on, let me tell everybody what these items are. Item number 7 is a resolution for Roosevelt Frank Russell. Item number 8 is a resolution in support of Inspirational Spectrum Heroes. And item number 9 is a resolution for Harrison Lorenza Pal Gilmore.
And just to let you know, Council President, that the representative for Inspirational Spectrum Heroes is in the audience.
Okay, is there a motion to suspend the rules?
Support.
All right, it's been moved. I'll take the support from Pro Tem Carter. Any discussion on suspending the rules? Seeing none, roll call.
Taylor Burks?
Yes.
Waterman?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Carter?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
All right, motion passes to suspend the rules. Now, I need a resolution for item number 7. Is there a motion?
Move.
All right, it's been moved and supported. Resolution for Roosevelt Frank Russell. Roll call.
Waterman?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Carter?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Taylor Burks?
All right, item number 8, resolution in support of Inspirational Spectrum Heroes. Is there a motion? It's been moved by Waterman, supported by Doris Taylor Burks. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Williams?
Yes.
Carter?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Taylor Burks?
Yes.
Waterman?
Yes.
All right, item number 9, resolution for Harrison Lorenza Pal Gilmore.
Move. Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Carter?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Taylor Burks?
Yes.
Waterman?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes. Motion passes. Which brings us to item number 10, which is a resolution to authorize the mayor to sign an easement for property located at 31 North Saginaw. Who's presenting? Mr. Bell?
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council President. Good evening, City Council. This agenda item is for Piazza Property LLC. They have requested the city grant them an easement along Lawrence Street. Their parcel is actually on 31 North Saginaw, but the side of the building is on Lawrence. There's an actual, a door that was below grade, and actually the door is still there. If you drive by, you can see the door. So the door is below grade, and there's actually pavement up to about the middle of the door. So they're requesting an easement from the city to reestablish a staircase to access the lower floor of their building. This staircase will be approximately, or the easement they're requesting is approximately 5 feet by 11 feet, and it will allow them to have a secondary egress into their building, which I believe has been requested by the fire department, for them to have additional occupancy.
Okay, for those of you who don't know, this is where the Alley Cat property is located behind the building, so.
Correct.
Right there, so, just for everybody to have a point of reference. Okay.
Are there any questions?
I don't think so. We're gonna talk about it next, vote on it next week. All right, item number 11.
Apologize for the delay. I've got a quick PowerPoint that will best describe this agenda item. So this is the MDOT Local Pavement Warranty Program that has been put forth through the Michigan Municipal League. So a quick PowerPoint up there, and the PowerPoint should be in your packet. I've created, there's the agenda item, then there are the 2 resolutions, then behind that is the actual pavement warranty guidebook, and then behind that would be this PowerPoint presentation that starts out like this, local agency pavement warranty program. So going to the second slide, the local agency pavement warranty program is part of the transportation funding package of 2015. The Michigan legislature created a requirement that each local road agency in Michigan adopt a local pavement warranty program acceptable to the Department of Transportation. The resulting local agency warranty program is a statewide accepted format that local agencies can use for hot mix asphalt and plain jointed concrete pavement projects on public roads and streets, if they opt to utilize a warranty program on a project. Now, for this will be required for any project that's on a national highway route, any project that has Federal Highway Administration dollars or State of Michigan dollars in it, which a lot of our projects do. And these are for projects over $2 million. If we were going to vote on this and use this, we will have to do it, the State of Michigan is requiring that we do this by September 18th. So that's why we're presenting it now, so there's time to think about it and discuss it. The next slide is just kind of what is provided by the state and through the MML. They're providing us special provisions for our contract documents, a boilerplate warranty program, as well as specifics for concrete and hot mix asphalt, as well as the bonding forms that the contractors are going to need. There's a warranty bond form and then the contract form as well. And as well as, in addition, the guidelines for local agency payment warranty program, which are in your packet. It's about 37 pages of information. As I mentioned earlier, the warranty determination process, basically it starts out with the city creating a project that needs to be done. We would prepare an estimate of cost for the project, and that would be the start of our determination whether we need to have a warranty or not. The second step is it an NHS road, a National Highway System road? If it is a National Highway System road, we kind of go down the flow chart. And I apologize, those are small to read, but it's kind of a lot of information to put in there. So, and again, if it's Federal Highway Administration funding, requires the warranty if it's over $2 million. If it's State of Michigan funding, again, requires the warranty if it's over $2 million. Now, under $2 million, we are not required to have a warranty even if we are using Federal Highway Administration funds or State of Michigan funds. So it is, not every project will require a warranty. Going to warranty process. Again, to begin the process, we get a contractor, and we have to notify the State of Michigan, in this case MDOT, if we are going to be using a warranty. So that starts the process. Then we go and we bid the project, we complete the construction, we accept the project, which in many of these programs, there is a formal process for the exception of the roadway. Then we get down, further down, it is our responsibility as the city, as the owner of that project, to inspect the project at the required intervals to keep the warranty active and good. So this warranty process will put a little bit more on the city, as well as a little bit more expense, because we will have to be out inspecting these projects at intervals. The next slide is the inspection process. I won't go through the whole inspection process. It's something you guys can go through.
Mr. Ballin, can I kind of stop you?
Sure.
We talked about this in our DPW subcommittee on July 17th, and you said that it raises the cost tremendously to the contractors.
There's potential that it will, yes.
And to do this warranty. And then MDOT is going to require it for anything that uses state dollars?
State dollars and
state or federal dollars,
state
right?
or federal dollars, correct.
I guess my question is, and I'm glad that we have a warranty. Pro Tem Carter talked about it maybe 6-7 months ago, and we ask this question all the time because our roads seem to get paved one week and then we have to get them paved again the next year. I would rather just put the policy in place for all of our road projects, so we can just have a standard and know what that cost is, so we know that all of our roads will have a warranty, because our roads are in horrible condition. We know that, right? We get them repaved, and then we have to get them repaved again. If we look at Orchard Lake or whatever, I wish we had a warranty to go along with that. So how do we put that process in place? I know you're just asking us to approve the MDOT portion today.
Well, this can be used for every project. This doesn't have to be just state or federal projects with state or federal dollars. This can be used for any project that we so desire.
So how do we mandate that in, so we know that every time?
There's two resolutions in here.
Okay.
And so the first resolution is to adopt a local pavement warranty program. And this is basically says we're going to adopt the warranty program and its accompanying documents. The second resolution is to implement a local warranty program, which means we will either follow the rules and regulations as put forward by the State of Michigan and the Michigan Municipal League, or we will amend them for our own purposes. Now, I would caution that there could be significant cost increases for any and all projects. Smaller projects, a lot of our local paving projects, we have smaller contractors. This increases their cost tremendously, where they may not be able to do more than one job in a year, which could potentially even put them out of business, because they have to bond for this warranty. And as a contractor, you have a bonding limit. You can only bond for so much money based on your revenue every year. So again, this could significantly, we may not be able to do projects because we may not get any contractors to bid them. I would caution that.
No, we don't.
Okay. Anybody else have a question for Mr. Ballin? Okay, thank you, Mr. Ballin. We'll be addressing this next week. I think you are item number 12 too. That's the same thing?
Not the same thing, but it is me. The item number 12 is a contract with PK Contracting for road striping.
No, that's 13.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We did 12.
We did 12.
We did 12.
Yes.
Yeah, 11 and 12 are the same thing. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, item number 13 is the road striping.
Yes. So going to number 13, the Oakland County Road Commission has bid road striping for the year for 2019 Due to the road commission being another government agency, the city has the ability to assume the contract pricing for the work in our city. The Department of Public Works is requesting to enter into a contract with PK Contracting. The pricing for long line striping as bid through the road commission is as follows, and these are only some of the line items. These are the line items that we would use. I've removed the line items that we wouldn't use. Sprayable thermoplastic 4-inch white at $0.103. Sprayable thermoplastic 4-inch yellow, same price. So these are, again, the long line striping down the middle, basically lane delineators and center turn lane delineators, and layout as required. There's additional cost if they have to do additional layout to determine where to start and where to stop. That would be $15 per roadway, $1,500 per roadway. The engineering division has reviewed and approved the attached documents supplied by the Road Commission for Oakland County, as well as the city prepared contract for the work. The Department of Public Works recommend that we enter into a contract with PK Contracting for long line road striping. So after the memorandum and resolution from the DPW, there's a letter from PK Contracting accepting that they will forward those prices as bid with the Road Commission onto us, as well as more documents from the Road Commission bid. Actually, the contract from the Road Commission, and then further in would be the contract from the City of Pontiac that we would forward to PK Contracting if approved by City Council.
Okay, thank you. I do have one question before you go. Is there any way we can get those little yellow chargeable strips inside underneath the Phoenix Center bridge, because it's dark there? I know we're not putting in lights until we figure out what we're doing with it, but is there any way that we can get those, like, those light-up strips?
The retroreflective strips that are inlaid into the asphalt, they're not, there's no electric to them, they're just retroreflective off the headlights. We could look into a price for that. Those are fairly expensive because you have to actually core into the roadway, and I don't know that they can put it on a concrete road. I'd have to look into that, but I will look into it.
Can I ask a question, Mr. President?
Go ahead.
John, which brings me to the question, I have been asked this a number of times, even though it's not my district, but the city, city's all mine. Downtown, right before you get to the courthouse, when you come off 59, there's need to be a marking there. There was almost an accident Saturday when I was there. When you come off the expressway, some people go straight up into downtown, and some go by the behind, what is the name of that church right there on that corner, Randy? When you come off 59.
Grace.
Grace Center.
So you're talking University Drive in the downtown?
And actually, the courthouse have asked if you guys can put some kind of markings down there, because they see almost a lot of accidents. You don't know which, if you're coming from the city and you're not familiar, you don't know which.
Yeah, I'm actually, it's either University Drive,
Yeah.
or is it between Woodward and?
No, it's not Woodward at all, it's downtown.
But I'm asking between Woodward and Mill or Perry. Is that the section? I can go look at it tomorrow and see.
Yeah, because it's confusing, but it's right there beside the church. As you come off 59, because I come that way from my house all the time, straight off of 59, you go right into downtown. What is that?
That's University Drive. If you're
Is it
coming
all-
straight across Woodward into
Correct.
downtown, that's University Drive.
It needs to be some lines there that people don't know they don't really know where to go. And actually,
And that's
the court
what
had
this
asked
will
me
do.
to ask you to do that, okay?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Ballin. Brings us to item number 14. We got a communication, I guess, from the mayor.
I gotta go over there first.
Okay. Mr. Johnson, just for the interest of time, if you could just talk about the Dream Cruise and come back and talk about roadkill, because I got some concerns, especially about Rapid Street, and I don't think you're probably the person that's prepared to talk about how you charge public citizens to be on a city-owned street. So if you can just talk about the Dream Cruise update, that'd be awesome.
Include your report, as you had intended.
Okay, thank you so much, Council President, Madam Mayor, to allow me to address the body this evening. So, excuse me, as you're well aware, the Dream Cruise was once a singular event, and we now have an entire week dedicated around the Dream Cruise known as the Pontiac Power Week. So this week we are well under our way here, and as you mentioned, Council President, to we did have our roadkill event that drew a heck of a crowd this year, over 47,000 people. So it was an awesome event here. And Pontiac really did come out. And I just wanted to personally commend our DPW department. They were excellent. They did a great job. Excuse me. So just the events that are following this week here that I did want to touch on were Thursday, August the 15th, the B.B. King Blues Band featuring Michael Lee and special guest Ornetta Davis will be at the Strand Theater at 7 p.m. And the night will include a special bourbon tasting. And for information, you can always visit theflagstarstrand.com. Other events included are also on the 15th from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Marriott Centerpoint. Pontiac Transportation Museum is hosting a dinner with an auction and music and live entertainment. This is a fundraiser, and for information for that, you can always visit the Pontiac Drive-In on Local Hop. Friday the 16th, our downtown businesses have all collaborated to form our first annual Pontiac Pit Stop. So on the 16th, Saginaw Street will be open in both directions for and any business that shows a checker flag hanging outside of their door, they're going to have specials in honor of the first annual Pontiac Pit Stop. And there's also going to be a classic car show in conjunction with that on Saginaw Street the same day. And Saturday the 17th is Dream Cruise Day. And one thing that's really awesome that I think is cool is that the Strand Theater will be open for tours, and Charlene's Theater Bar there will be serving food and beverages, etc. And the party at the park, as Mr. Anderson mentioned earlier, that's going to be the silent disco at Hidden River Park starting at 5 p.m. But also on Saturday, there will be a family festival downtown, and this is absolutely free of charge. There's going to be inflatables and other funds for kids and families, and again, that's at no additional charge. All the information I mentioned is available online, but you can also find it in City Hall and throughout the city. You'll see these kind of pamphlets. It's just outlining what events are coming up, where they're going to be as we enjoy Pontiac Power Week. Again, the beginning of this, we've had 47,000 people visit Pontiac, and I look forward to showing off and showing our city to anyone who can make it down here. And come out and enjoy your city yourself, Pontiac. Thank you all.
All right, which brings us to item number 15. I don't know who's answering the question. For these,
If you want me, it says Mayoral Reports, so I guess.
No, I was just saying why they weren't published. So from July 5th, the 12th, the 19th, the 26th have not been posted to the city website.
If it's a Mayoral Report, I can give.
No, it's not a report. I'm asking, it's missing.
It says report.
It says it's missing. If you read the
Well, if you want me to give the report, I can give the report.
Go ahead, Mr. Clerk.
Yeah, you passed, I believe, you passed a resolution, it was March 5th, I remember it was in March, that each month, the mayor would include the check register for the previous month, the staff, any staff changes, and the credit card statement. So, the mayor stated that the stuff is on the website, so I was just going on the website, pulling the reports down, putting them in your packet. But there has not been a check register since June 21st is the last check. We do weekly check registers. June 21st, 2019 is the last check register on the website.
Okay, thank you. So that's item 16 and 17. They haven't been produced.
But I guess the issue is why.
Yeah, I don't.
Which maybe the mayor can respond to.
I would certainly like to answer that. That's why I was trying to give the mayoral report. But the clerk wants to give my report, go right ahead. But the question was, we are now, our finance director is modernizing the finance department in many ways. And one of the things he's doing is introducing a new PO process. With that has kind of slowed down a little bit as we're changing this process over and orienting staff to it as to training and to new software. So that's why we're a little delayed in getting that process through to its finish. But in the end, we're going to have a process that works better, that's more tight and is more online. These are all requests, so the mayoral reports, the resolution you passed is really a request to the mayor, and so I'm handling your request in the way that I think is most appropriate for our staff. The monthly staff changes report, the HR director is not here, can't be here to give that, but the new hiree for June was Dan Ringo, who was here shortly ago, and he is the new deputy director of DPW. So our DPW director is getting much needed assistance by having this deputy there. In June and July, we had so many children at PIREC. much more, it increased exponentially, where kids were coming with all the programs and things we've introduced. So we did hire some additional seasonal, we had some interns as well as workers from Michigan Works. So those were additional hirees during that July period. The credit card statements are due to you, Deputy Mayor is processing them. There was something we questioned on, I think on the June, she actually caught a big error, and so immediately notified the bank, and they're correcting that. So we do double check those and make sure that every penny there is something that's authorized and that there's no discrepancy. So we did find one, and thank you, Deputy Mayor, for finding that and making sure that the bank knew about it so that they could change that, okay?
So we don't.
That's my report.
Yeah. The question is, why have they not been published? So there needs to be a report. So we're going to adjourn this meeting at 9:55. 8:55, sorry. It's been a long day.
It just felt like 9.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk, and I'll find the rest of the documents for the sale.
What is it?
That was about the voters in the 1 year, but I got a copy of it from the state, from Laura.
Okay.
That expound on when they changed the rules and the emergency rules.